Today we're going to talk about why you shouldn't consider owning an artist signature guitar and maybe go for one of the stock models. Now, I made the 5 reasons you should own an artist signature guitar video a little while ago, and if you want to go check that out, I'll leave you a link in the cards up there. Now, as I did in that video, I'm going to use my Mark Tremonti Signature PRS SE as an example where needed, but I will be referencing another model that fully supports the idea of not buying a signature model, because believe you me, there's one in particular that a lot of people didn't like. So let's go ahead and take a look at reasons why you should avoid an artist's signature guitar. Number 1, resale value. This is mainly for your custom-built boutique guitars and guitars that you call your signature. Okay, so maybe I'm cheating here a little bit right out the gate, but this is my list and I don't see yours, so. But anyway, I'm talking about custom builds first. Ones that you actually spec out yourself that you know 110% you'll enjoy the second you put your hands on it. So truly it's your signature guitar. But wait, wouldn't you want to buy one of those? Perhaps, but consider this. What if you get tired of it? What if something happens and you had to sell it? You might think, okay, that's not so bad. I should be able to sell my sludge green and doo-doo brown half SG, half Strat hollow body with a single tilted P90 in the middle for, I don't know, $4,500 because I made it myself. I paid that to have it made, so I know what it's worth, and it's just awesome. Well, it turns out the market for that particular model isn't doing so well. So the only way, you think to yourself anyway, that you'll be able to sell it is to chop that price right down the middle and cut it in half. Okay, so now you've lost at least half of your investment. Not the end of the world, I guess. You knew you probably weren't gonna profit off of this too much, but still no dice. So you take another half off the price, and now you're only gonna recoup 1/4 of your investment. Not looking too great selling it privately. So let's take it to our good friend Guitar Center, who offer you $500 because it's so unique and it'll be hard to resell to someone who wants exactly that, but it admittedly does play well, so they give you a little bit more money for it. So in the end, you lost $4,000. So number 2, it's not built to your specs. And this goes for the looks, the feel, all that stuff. We all have our own sense of style and feel. It's what makes us unique. And it's like what many people have said before me, if we all liked the same thing, the world would be a pretty boring place. That being said, there are a lot of things people don't like on guitars, and they are very vocal about it sometimes. For example, I absolutely despise a Floyd Rose trim. Can't stand them, despite many times on my channel trying to like them. And that really sucks for me because I've always wanted an Ibanez Jim. But the fact that I had to have to deal with a Floyd Rose just makes me realize that there really isn't anything that I can do to get past it to own one. There's also the debate of things like thick necks versus thin necks, active versus passive pickups, flame top versus quilt top, all kinds of different things that a signature guitar might have that you maybe just don't particularly care for. Here's another personal example. I used to not like gold top Les Pauls just because they were gold. To me, honestly, they looked kind of cheap. And over the years, I've come to like them, don't get me wrong. I've even owned an Epiphone 56 gold top before. I'll leave a link to that video if you want to go check that out. But there's one signature guitar that I cannot love, despite it being a gold top, that takes that cheap looking factor to a whole new level. The Billy Gibbons signature gold top Les Paul. The pinstripe thing, no. But he likes it, and that's why it's his thing. It's unique, it stands out, and I would never buy one, even if it played nice, because I'm petty. Number 3, association with the artist and lack of individuality. Part of playing the guitar is the sense of individuality you have with the instrument. As I mentioned in the first point, the fact that you can have a guitar built to your every want and desire. Have whatever neck carve you want. Get that one weird flame top that everyone else hates but you love. You know, that's your individuality, and that's awesome to have. Go out and buy an artist signature guitar and suddenly you might start to feel like you would be considered a poser if you take this thing out and someone asks you to play a song by that artist. Okay, maybe not really. I certainly don't care if people think that about me, but a great example would be the PRS here. I love Mark Tremonti. I love just about everything he's ever been a part of, but do I know how to play any of his songs? Fuck no. because I don't possess the skills of a Greek god. But I like the way that this guitar looks and feels and sounds, so I bought it. And guess what? It suits the way that I play perfectly. I play a lot of rock and metal, and if you're new here, I play a lot of rock and metal, and this thing's perfect for that. Which leads me to my next point. Number 4, it may not suit your playing style. If you're, say, a Jimi Hendrix fan, or a Stevie Ray Vaughan fan, or an Eric Johnson fan, what guitar do you think you would go out and buy to try and sound like them? If you said anything other than a Strat, maybe this video isn't for you, or you just don't understand why your Les Paul can't quite get the sounds from those artists' records. Same thing applies the other way around though. If you're looking for that fat, thick, chunky gent sound, but your vintage voiced single coils just aren't cutting it, the retail price, or the pricing doesn't quite match the specs. Signature guitars are usually more expensive, and it really comes down to, are these custom appointments really worth the difference in value compared to an off-the-shelf stock model? You start factoring in things like diminishing returns and what the cost would be if you just upgraded it yourself, if you didn't like the electronics in it, for example. All of this stuff just starts going through your head, and you realize maybe it's just not worth the hassle. Sure, you might get some signature pickups in it, or in this case, some pickups that are modeled after the artist's high-end pickups. Unless you buy an Epiphone Slash model and you get Pro Buckers in them instead of any kind of Slash signature pickup at all. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the Pro Buckers, it's more about getting what you're paying for. And that's what I'm talking about. If you're gonna charge upwards of $1,000 for some of these guitars and not include Gibson pickups, people are gonna be a little upset about that. The 1959 Epiphone Les Paul is a stock production model. It's cheaper than the Slash models, and it has burst buckers in it stock. You're charging more money for the name associated with the top on the guitar. In this case, you know, Appetite for Destruction burst, November burst, all that kind of stuff. The drawing on the back of the headstock, and the signature on the truss rod cover, than actually providing a guitar spec'd to what someone should pay for it. Now ask yourself, are those little appointments that I just mentioned really worth the extra money? An argument could possibly be made for the top or the color options just because they're unique, but I think I would still prefer to get better pickups for my money. Now I get it, in the world of budget signature models like the PRS SE or even the Epiphones or whatever, you're aiming to get people who want to get as close to the real thing as possible without paying the premium to get the real thing. All of this is coming from a huge Epiphone and Gibson fan, by the way, if you're unfamiliar with my channel. Now, at the end of the day, I think this is a huge turnoff for a lot of consumers, especially the ones who know what they're looking for and the ones who potentially have the cash to drop on the higher end, but maybe don't want to. It's all about value for money. So there you go, 5 reasons that you may want to skip picking up an artist signature model. Did I miss any points? You got anything that needed to be added to the list? Leave me a comment below. I try my best to read them all and reply, so let me hear what you got to say. Make sure you subscribe, check the links in the description for my Teespring and Redbubble store if you want to pick up some merch, and I'll see you guys in the next video.